Put the whoosy on the whatsy. Attach the whatsy to the whoosy. Connect the thingamajig to the thingamabob, and that'll make the whatchamacallit.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Making Records with me, Eric Valentine. We're doing another production deconstruction, but this is going to be interesting because this is a song I'm guessing nobody's ever heard before. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in hearing how a song was recorded that they've never heard before. I guess we'll find out because I'm doing it. Here we go. There's other things about this that are kind of interesting. This is a song off of, it's going to be the first single. It's being released today. So this is a song from Grace Potter's new record. We worked on it a bunch earlier this year. It's finally starting to come out. And this is the latest thing that I've worked on. So I think it always kind of goes that whatever the last thing is you worked on, you're kind of the most excited about. So it kind of goes without saying, although I'm going to say it right now, I'm super fucking excited about this record. It was a long time coming. It's was a process that I've just never experienced anything like it. The whole process of conceiving of this record, recording it, finally getting it done, and having it come out. There's things about the way I approach this record that are fundamentally different than anything I've ever done before, that I'm really excited about. I really feel like it's a new chapter, a new whole way for me to approach making records that has been very satisfying for me. So I'm very excited that finally, after a long time, I feel like I've found a new way to approach this that has, I think, some really huge benefits to it. It's also my wife, so that's good reason to be very excited about it as well. And we had an amazing time working on it together. So I'm just going to say it right now. It's going to be really hard for me to not have the next 20 episodes just be about this record. So I'm going to say it right now. You're welcome. I'm not going to do that, but it's going to take an extraordinary amount of restraint to not do that. So you're welcome. So the other thing that's cool about this is that this is going to be an extremely complete picture of the creation of a song, because I actually was the person that started writing this song. And so we're going to be able to go through this song from the original inception of an idea in my brain of like, hey, this would be a cool song to do, all the way through collaborating with other writers and demoing the song and then recording it for real and then mixing the song and mastering the song. So from the first little blink of an idea to the final mastered version, we're going to try and go through that whole process today. I hope that's interesting to you. I don't know how long it's going to take to actually do that, but I'm going to give it a shot and we'll see what happens, see if this is actually interesting to anybody. So let's talk about the song a little bit. The song is called Love is Love, and I think as we start talking about the writing of this song, we're all going to get to know each other a little better. Because this record and this song, as a part of this record, is really speaking about Grace's experiences for the last 3 years, basically from her perspective, what's happened in her life in the last 3 or 4 years. There's only a couple small exceptions, but basically this album that she's about to put out is just her diary, everything that's happened. And a lot of crazy shit happened in the last 4 years. We made a record together that came out in 2015. After that record was done, we both just couldn't deny that we had fallen uncontrollably in love with each other. And that set off a whole series of events that got totally crazy. Because, you know, there's a lot of difficult stuff happens, you know. We were both in relationships and just got sort of blindsided by the feelings that we had for each other. Neither of us were looking to fall in love with anybody, and it just found us. It was totally unbelievable, and we even tried at times to just be like, "This is crazy. We can't do this. This is insane," and we literally said like, "Goodbye. Have a great tour. You know, maybe we'll see each other again sometime." And we just couldn't do it. And so, you know, ultimately we, you know, went down this crazy path and ended up together and are married now and have a beautiful baby boy together. And it all worked out, but it was a journey. A lot of really, really crazy stuff happened along the way. You know, when you're ending long relationships to start a new relationship, things get super messy and very complicated. You know, people can get hurt, and so that all happened along the way, and it was very difficult. There were times that were unbelievably difficult, and on my end of things got really crazy. I alluded to it a little bit in the Death from Above episode, because I was really in the depths of it while I was working on that record. But you know, there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on, lawsuits and restraining orders, and it just got completely bonkers. But eventually we came out the other side of it, and were able to make a record together. And so this album is really sort of like, you know, the results of all of that crazy stuff, and following your heart and seeing where it leads you. So in one of the rounds when Grace was off on tour and we were like, okay, let's just go off and just do our own thing and, you know, not blow everybody's lives up. I ended up going up north, spend time with my family. And the way I have sort of an exercise that I do when I'm trying to sort of start the engines of a new song, and driving is a really, really great way for me to do that. And the exercise for me is I always like to have a context that the song is going to be in, and for me that's usually an artist. And so in this case it was Grace. We were talking a little bit about the possibility maybe we would make another record together at some point. I certainly wanted to do that. And so, you know, I have this exercise where I'll picture a particular artist and their voice. In this case, obviously Grace's voice, and how it emotes and how powerful her voice is. And if I was listening to the radio in my car and a new Grace Potter song came on that was amazing, that just blew me away, like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's amazing that she did this or that or the other, and this is so incredible. What would that sound like? and so I just sort of plug that into my brain and just see what my brain spits back out. And so this was really the result of that exercise. And so that's how the basic arrangement of the song, I knew it would just be very stark in the beginning. It was like, oh, it should just be vocal and organ, and the melody, the verse melody came to me. And so I had sort of like the inception of like, this is what this song would feel like when it starts and where it would go. And so I had that in the drive to Northern California. And then while I was in Northern California, I happened to see this really cool documentary about an incredible guy, this dude named The Amazing Randy. I was already aware of him because I'm super old. He was more visible in the 70s and 80s when he was doing his thing. It was such an incredible example of how real and valid and beautiful love is in any context. It takes many, many different forms, and it's no less valid in any form that it takes. And so if people are truly in love and they are truly, care for each other, that's all that really matters. And that's what really struck me with this film when I saw it. And it inspired the lyric, "Love is love." And one of the other things that struck me in the documentary was that it seemed like they weren't really looking for this love. I haven't talked to them. I don't know if that's true or not. It found them. Very similar to what Grace and I experienced. We weren't looking for it. It just found us, And it seemed the same way for them. So there was some things about it that were similar to Grace and I's experience. And so ultimately we were able to take the song and retool some of the lyrics that I had written that were more specific to the documentary concept, and retool the song to speak more directly to Grace's experience, as the beginning of this whole crazy transition in her life, that, love sometimes just comes crashing into your life and takes you on this unbelievable roller coaster ride where, you can lose control of everything and it just goes off wherever it takes you. And so that's really where the song ended up. And so the lyrics sort of speak more to that. But I think, what's important about this is for any people out there that are, really pursuing songwriting, I've found for myself that it's really important to have life experiences to be able to write songs about life experiences. And there's a certain point where just sitting in a control room 15 hours a day is not going to, fuel you up with a bunch of really incredible life experiences to write about. And for me, it was important to get out of that room and get out and experience some other things and, see an inspiring story in a documentary about what other people have experienced and actually get out in the world a little bit. That's how you fuel your batteries to have something meaningful to say. So it was a good example of that. Then ultimately, we weren't really sure where the song should land. We had the whole beginning, and it went into this sort of instrumental section that could potentially be a chorus, but I didn't really know what to do with it. And so we invited the unbelievably talented Mike Busby to get involved. He had assisted me a long time ago in 99 and 2000 when I was making the move to LA. He was assisting me. He was obviously immediately, I could tell he was totally overqualified to be an assistant. He just had that gift for songwriting, and so I really encouraged him. You should be writing songs, not coiling chords for me. That would be a much better use of your time. So we went off and do that, and now he's obviously, this massively successful, incredibly wonderful songwriter, producer, having an incredible career doing that. But it was cool because we got to get back together again much later, because we really hadn't done much in between. The last time we had really worked together, he was literally coiling chords for me. The next time we got together, he came in to help finish writing a song because he's so amazing at it. And so he came in, and this is a testament to how talented Mike Busby is. He came in, I played him our working demo of the song, which basically had the beginning, some lyrics there, this little sort of transitional pre-chorus thing, and then into this, instrumental section. And so I played just that much of him one time. So it was maybe 1 minute and 20 seconds. He heard that. And after I hit stop on the computer, he said, check this out. He got up and he walked out into the sound room at barefoot and sat down at the piano and said, why don't you just do this? And basically played the chorus for this song, first time. I was completely dumbfounded. It was so good, so perfect for the song. His instincts are so amazing. An incredible moment. I was just blown away how effortless that was for him. Then we sort of, you know, fussed around with getting the lyrics just right in the chorus, but he had sort of the beginning of it already when he sat down at the piano. He just started singing a part that was like, whoa, that's perfect, you know? And so then we had that, and we got through some second verse stuff, and then he had to take off, and so Grace and I ended up figuring out the bridge for the song and finishing it off at the end. And so so that's really, you know, how the song got written. And it's a cool example of how, you know, you can have an idea and bring in another perspective. Grace got involved, and we started to, you know, push it in the direction of her perspective, and then get Mike Busby involved to sort of look at the whole thing, stand back, look at the whole thing, and go, this is how you sum up this song in the chorus. And it really was like 3 essential parts that made this song, you know, what it is. So you haven't even heard it yet, so check this out.